I want to speak about our brother Tyrone McAlpin out there in Phoenix. He was racially profiled by racist Ku Klux Klan members with a badge, and they jumped on him in a Circle K parking lot. See, what had happened was the Circle K employees had called the cops for an unruly person inside the store, and that unruly person was a white man. So when the cops got on the scene, they encountered this white man, and he then points to our brother Tyrone McAlpin, saying he's the culprit. He's the he assaulted him, lying and saying that our brother Tyrone McAlpin assaulted him, and our brother Tyrone was in the store and he was trying to, escort this white gentleman outside of the store. He did nothing wrong, and then police playing the game of I'm white and I say so, just jump on our brother Tyrone McAlpin and start beating on him, choking him out, deploying a taser from the gate, and come to find out our brother Tyrone McAlpin is deaf and has cerebral palsy. And they got a lot of bogus, trumped up charges on him right now for police assault, this, that, and the other, and I ain't feeling that. So I got the audio and the video of this family, and we're going to walk through and talk about this thing. And another thing I want to add is only when you black do you go from being innocent to the culprit in this system of racism, white supremacy we under. So I got the video and the audio of it, and we're going to walk through and talk about it. Fair use. But I might have to turn it away when it gets to the violent parts because the YouTube algorithm, and this is on YouTube, it's a news channel on YouTube, ABC News, but I don't want to put it on my channel because knowing my luck, they'll try to flag the video for, violence of them beating on the brother and tasing him.
First tonight, this is video.
So I'll pull it away when it gets to that part.
Who's deaf and has cerebral palsy. That
Fair
arrest
use.
is violent. In this story, we're going to show you close body camera footage that's intense and difficult to watch. So please consider this your warning.
It happened late this summer, and that means it happened after the Department of Justice released its historic and severe report against Phoenix PD. Here's ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biscabay.
Yeah, we reached out to Phoenix police about this arrest, but they aren't saying much about it. They only confirmed it's now under internal investigation. But this case raises a lot of questions, and it really serves as sort of a test case. And that's both for Phoenix and the DOJ. See, Phoenix is trying to prove it doesn't need federal oversight. But will the DOJ trust the city when things like this continue to happen? You've seen the surveillance video.
Because it's that part of them assaulting our brother, and they might flag the channel for that. So, hold on, family. Let me speed this up. I'm trying to get...
He's deaf, and he's physically compromised. The entire thing is just out.
At least 10 times, and tasered 4 times.
That's him tasing our brother and, beating on him, choking him out.
He can't understand. And
they deployed an illegal chokehold on him as well. And if you ask me, these no good race soldiers were looking to, unalive our brother here. This was much more than assault. They would have unalived our brother, but only thing they ploy and they plan didn't work out in their favor as they would have probably hoped it would have. But let's continue.
He's deaf and he's physically compromised. The entire thing is just outrageous.
That's Jesse Showalter. He agreed to watch the video with us, and that's because he's an attorney for Tyrone McAlpin. Together, they're planning to bring an excessive force lawsuit against the Phoenix Police Department. But before we get into that, first let's get into why officers went after Tyrone.
Listen to this.
When we look at the...
Listen to this. They went after him because, the white culprit that was in that store being unruly, Tyrone McAlpin, helped the store employees usher him out, and then this white culprit, racism, white supremacy, these racist race soldiers, want to pamper to they fellow brethren, and this white culprit, they go up to him and treat him as the victim, and he points and says, Tyrone McAlpin, he points the finger at Tyrone McAlpin and says, Tyrone McAlpin assaulted him. So, them being race soldiers, they run over there and, just start bombing and firing on our brother Tyrone McAlpin for absolutely no reason at all other than being black. This reminds me of back in the day when white people used to, lie on black people and say, well, he done this, that, or the third And then the system of racism, white supremacy goes out and lynches that brother, gives that brother life in prison, does all sorts of wickedness and evil to that brother without, that brother getting a fair day in court or him getting to say otherwise. And I don't rock with that. And this type of action still goes on up until this day, with them unjustly locking up brothers and, lynching them even lynching them, unfortunately. And this video was a case of that because this white guy was the culprit, and he points to an innocent brother, Tyrone, and the system of racism, white supremacy plays the game of I'm white and I say so, and they just go, start assaulting our brother. And he did nothing wrong. That was self-defense because when you start attacking somebody, they got the right to defend themselves. We as black people don't got to sit there and let race soldiers beat on us. I know for sure as hell I ain't letting no race soldier just run up and start bombing on me. Now I'm going to defend myself. But let's continue.
When we look at the body camera that we've seen so far, what it shows is that Circle K employees had a Caucasian male in the store causing problems, and they called the police to trespass this person who wouldn't leave.
Hey, you guys just want this guy
See, the white person was the problem. The white man was the problem. He blamed it on the brother.
Arrive, they don't do any investigation to find out what this guy was doing in the store. Instead, they talked to the guy, and he claims that
that's a good point. They didn't do any investigation, talk to any of the witnesses. They just took this white man's word that was in the store that was the disturbance. They just took him at his word, and he lied and blamed it on the brother Tyrone McAlpin. So these cops are dirty race soldiers, if you ask me, and they deserve to be tried up with a hate crime because this is a hate crime, and this was done because our brother Tyrone McAlpin was black, and let me have seen them assaulting our brother, or any black person for that matter. I ain't going to just sit around and watch that, especially it would have really set me on 1,000 to know this brother had cerebral palsy and he was deaf and they was doing this to him. I ain't letting that rock, and we got the right to defend ourselves. If you ask me, you ain't supposed to just sit there and let no one for that matter, even a race soldier, sit there and just be bombing on you, choking you out, and deploying all these illegal chokeholds and things on you, tasering you, and you just sit there and allow it. Nah, you got the right to defend yourself.
To the guy, and he claims that he was assaulted and points to somebody in the street that he claims did it.
The guy pointed at Tyrone, who was across the street.
We're saying that's the guy that assaulted right there.
Look at him pointing the line.
We have a situation where the officers respond. Some white guy says, "Hey, no, some black guy assaulted me," and they just drop what they're doing and head right over there.
That's what the video shows.
Yeah, that's white supremacy.
Why did you make your impression? The black guy?
Yeah. And that takes us back to this point.
And this police officer
immediately grabbing him,
assaults him, and then uses
Tyrone I don't know if they'll flag it for the violence YouTube
to try to justify felony charges.
Officials charged Tyrone with aggravated assault and resisting arrest. In their reports, officers
they charged Tyrone with aggravated assault and resisting arrest, and you ain't got the right to, you ain't got to sit there and just be somebody's victim, even if they are a police officer. If they come up beating on you, you got the right to defend yourself. Where the hell they do that at? This is racism, white supremacy at its finest. They beat this brother, do him some harm, and then they got the nerve to throw some charges on him. Nah, miss me with that.
Tyrone tried to walk away from them, took a fighting stance, threw repeated punches at them, and bit one of them.
Everything
Y'all
that
was
I see
assaulting him.
in that video, as well as
they was assaulting him, family. Anything after that, once the police officers engaged him and threw the first blow and was grappling him, everything after that our brother Tyrone did was self-defense, if you ask me. But let's continue.
Other officers' body camera looks like Tyrone's just trying to avoid being harmed by these officers.
Exactly. See, what they want us to do as black people is just sit there and take the blows from these race soldiers, and we ain't obligated to do that. We got a right and a duty as black people to defend ourselves. We ain't just going to be sitting there being beat on, being crash dummies, sitting ducks for, even if it is a police officer. That just, that ain't the name of the game. But let's continue.
Makes them escalate the situation and increase the degree of violence that they're using.
One of the officers says Tyrone bit him. I mean, how do you respond to that?
Tyrone was face down on the ground with two officers striking and choking him, and that the only way that Tyrone could have possibly bit anybody on the hand or wrist is if one of those officers placed their hand or wrist in his mouth. And what it looks like from the video is that the officer who claims he was bitten was using an illegal chokehold on Tyrone.
Here's the
See,
question.
he wasn't even able to use that hold. No way, and this is what these cops do, deploy a lot of illegal tactics when they engage with black people, you know what I mean? And I don't give a damn if he would have bit him, which I don't believe he bit him. I don't give a damn if he bit him, because anything after you start punching and grappling somebody, that's self-defense. They just trying to stay alive at that point, because I know what these race soldiers were trying to do. They were trying to unalive this brother, but the only thing is they ploy and they plan didn't work out in their favor. He was able to live, so then that's when they came and threw the damn trumped up charges on him of assaulting a police officer, when you ain't got to sit there and, be no victim just because you black. A police officer runs up on you, don't announce they self, and just starts bombing, punching on you, tasering you. Nah, you got the right to defend yourself. And this brother got cerebral palsy and he's deaf, so he didn't even know what was going on. He probably thought somebody was trying to, rob him, do him some harm, which they were. His fight or flight instincts probably kicked in because he didn't even know what was going on. He ain't even got all of his senses. But let's continue.
Using an illegal chokehold on Tyrone.
Here's the question that, invariably, undoubtedly will be asked. Why didn't he just comply?
Comply, that gets me right there. Why didn't he just comply? You ain't obligated to comply when somebody, is beating on you. Comply with what? You're getting beat on and you getting done unjustly. I don't give a damn if they try to say he wouldn't have complied. How you gonna comply with when someone is physically assaulting you? You just supposed to comply is they just want you to lay there and just be beat on. But let's continue.
Easy is he's deaf. He couldn't understand what they were doing, and he had done nothing wrong.
Yeah, he done nothing wrong. He comply.
What kind of disabilities do you have?
He's deaf and he's got cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And I've been on the phone with him since Circle K.
How is he deaf if you've been on the phone?
Because I know sign language, that's why. I signed to him. That's why.
Nowhere in their police reports did the two officers document they were told about Tyrone's disabilities. But records do show.
So they just left that out of there. No good. Racist Ku Klux Klan members with a badge. But let's continue.
When another cop went back to check store surveillance footage and talk to witnesses, none of it supported the white guy's claims. Remember, he told officers Tyrone assaulted him at the store, but there was no evidence of any assault.
If nobody supported the white guy's claims, then why did y'all engage this brother Tyrone? These charges need to be thrown out on our brother, and charges need to be placed on these no good racist Ku Klux Klan members with a badge, quick, fast, and in a hurry, because what they done was a racial profiling of a black man, and it was in fact a hate crime. That's why I always bring it back to us needing that black hate crimes bill, because it would deter and insulate our people against the common white supremacists and even these racist Ku Klux Klan members, race soldiers with a badge. But let's continue.
Employees say the white guy was the one causing problems, getting aggressive, laying on the floor, and refusing to leave. In fact, store employees told police Tyrone tried to get him out of the store and eventually just left. Now, this all happened on...
Only when you black does the good Samaritan go to being the suspect, in the system of racism, white supremacy. And this really gets my blood boiling. That brother was just trying to, maybe lend a helping hand and usher this man outside of the store, this white man, and he gets charged up, beat on, tased, and damn near killed, because, that's what they wanted to do. But let's continue.
August 19th. That's 2 months after the Department of Justice released the results of its historic investigation into Phoenix PD.
It's almost like a single example that illustrates all of the problems highlighted in the DOJ's report.
Among many failures, the DOJ found Phoenix PD has a pattern and practice of racial bias, escalation, and not giving people a chance to comply before using force, excessive use of tasers, dangerous use of chokeholds, and violating the rights of people with disabilities.
So if the DOJ know that they racial profile, violate the rights of people with disabilities, and all of this other wickedness and nonsense that they supposedly doing, why ain't the DOJ clearing house on this no good Phoenix Police Department? If you ask me, the DOJ complicit in it as well, because the system of racism, white supremacy operates in many facets of life. It just ain't one area. Police officers, now it goes to the judges, police, to people on the city council, the PTA board, all of which come together to practice racism, white supremacy, because this no good Phoenix Police Department should have been, shut down. If you ask me, they should have cleared house and, got all them bad apples up out of there, and And it just ain't happening because they know all this and they ain't do nothing. But let's continue.
People with disabilities.
It's hard for me to understand how the city can come out and say with a straight face that it is meeting the DOJ report head on when this man, Tyrone McAlpin, is being charged with assault on police officers for this incident.
He should have been charged with anything.
Tells the whole
he
story.
was an innocent bystander. Good Samaritan.
Stand up.
He's a good Samaritan, if you ask me. They should have been.
A month later, he's still facing charges.
They should have been thanking this brother. He was trying to get a ruly, unwanted customer. Probably wasn't even a customer, somebody that was just being obnoxious inside that store. He was trying to, usher him out. So he should have been being thanked as a good Samaritan, not being beat down in the middle of a street with a foot on his neck, choked out and tased. Only when you black do you get this kind of treatment. Only when you black do you go from being innocent to guilty in the eyes of the system, racism, white supremacy.
That's correct.
As you just heard, Tyrone is still facing several felony charges. In fact, even though those officers are under internal investigation, they still just went into court to testify against Tyrone. And as you can see, our cameras were there.
These no good officers got some nerve for going in there and testifying against Tyrone. They need to knock it the hell out. They need to be the ones sitting up in the judgment seat and being, charged up with a hate crime and, racially profiling and beating attempted murder of a brother that was just a good Samaritan. They badges need to be turned in. They don't even deserve to be no damn police officers. But let's continue.
And the judge ruled there was probable cause for the case to move forward. Now, in our next report...
Of course the judge would rule there was probable cause because we take it back to that thing of white supremacy being a team sport. They got people in all areas and facets of life, and this no good judge is playing on the team of racism, white supremacy.
You'll hear those officers on the stand, hear their justification for the arrest. You'll also see some bizarre moments in the courtroom.
There is no justification. The only thing, how they justifying it is I'm white and I say so, and I ain't rocking with that. And our brother needs these charges, let up off of him because he ain't do nothing wrong. He was a good Samaritan, and this is why we need that black hate crime bill enacted into law quick, fast, and in a hurry. And these no good Ku Klux Klan members with a badge deserve to be held accountable for their wicked deeds. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.